To circle it all the way back to Micah Parsons, he is a member, he is probably the face and the voice, quite literally, of a new generation of player. And they have their, well, that's what.
Podcasters, that's right.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's players who believe that they should comment on anything and everything they want to and don't have the same understanding that players of your generation did of the impact that might have on other people.
Right.
And I don't know that this is just specific to sports. It's a generational thing.
How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down the line? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And I know I covered Get Up in yesterday's video, but this show continues to bring attention to where the attention needs to be, and I feel more pressure needs to be added to the topic that they covered today. On this morning's episode of Get Up, Mike Greenberg, Jeff Saturday, Dan Graziano, and Dominic Foxworth discussed the situation with Micah Parsons and Mike McCarthy. They also spoke about Micah Parsons trying to clear the air on his podcast, The Edge, on Bleacher Report app. During their conversation, they hit on one story that everyone should be bringing attention to: the issue with the Dallas Cowboys' success on the football field. They also kind of threw a dig at what I and a lot of other people do, which is podcasting. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. The first clip is a little long, so I ask for y'all to just chill with me, all right? So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the first clip from Dan Graziano and his description of what it's like after a loss at the AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, just so people understand, and I know I've made this point before, a Cowboy game ends, and as a member of the media, if you're covering literally any other team, you go one of 2 places. You go in the locker room, talk to the players, or you go in the press conference room, talk to the coach. If you're covering the Cowboys, you stand outside the locker room, wait for Jerry Jones to emerge, and then he gives a little bit of a press conference, and then you go in the locker room. And maybe if Mike McCarthy's press conference hasn't ended yet, you go and catch the tail end of that.
Really?
Yes, that's how it works.
Wow.
It's incredible. But that's it. I mean, all the beat writers are all there. All the TV cameras are all there waiting for Jerry to come out and talk. So he's the center of it all. And I think Dominique's absolutely right. Like, this is the atmosphere there, right? It's everyone's sort of waiting for someone to say something that we can jump all over and dissect. And Micah oftentimes delivers. And I think you're absolutely right. In this case, if he had just made his point and his pivot to Zach Martin and never said Mike McCarthy's name again, we don't even have this content to work with. But once he says more hours than Mike, and I can give him the benefit of the doubt, he's saying Zach Martin's been here 11 years. Mike McCarthy's been here 4 or 5. Zach Martin's a bigger part of the fiber of this place. He has bled more for this place than any coach. So I can get it, but you know, the way he phrased that was unfortunate and put him in a little bit of hot water. I get where he's coming from, but you know, he probably could have handled it better.
This is a damn shame, Cowboys Nation. The way he described what it's like being a part of the press, that's the norm? That's super ass backwards, Cowboys Nation. Don't you think the head coach would be the first person that the press would look to for an update on the players or the locker room? Don't you think that the head coach would be the first person that the press would want to talk to when it comes to the mindset of the players? Tell me, why in the hell is Jerry Jones the first thing that the media looks at? What can he tell us, Cowboys Nation? There's some fans that have closer seats to the game than he does. What in the hell can he tell us? It just seems like a jungle outside the locker room when it comes to the media. This jungle perpetuated by the one person that could change this culture in Dallas forever, but kind of like the curtains of the stadium, he refuses to do anything about it. Not the head coach, not the players, not the fans. It's Jerry Jones. Y'all know what type of raw and uncut this is going to be, so you might want to stick around for that. But jumping into the next clip that I got for you, Dominic Foxworth has something to add about the Micah Parsons situation. So let's take a listen so we can come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
it came across like saying, like, our coach doesn't work very hard.
Right.
And you left it up to chance. And it's also believable because it's the Cowboys. A couple weeks ago, you just did a top 10 quarterbacks list, and you left Dak off that list. I don't see you coming out apologizing for that and saying that was wrong. And it's all a circumstance that is created by the owner, where he encourages being entertaining over being effective football players. And it's a paradigm that he's created there, where last offseason you had players' families coming out and talking bad about the quarterback. It's just something that's acceptable that Jerry Jones creates an atmosphere where you send a lame duck coach in there, you don't give him a contract extension, he's in his final year, and you don't show him any respect, so why are the players supposed to?
It does come across that way, don't it, Dominic? This is what I've been saying, Cowboys Nation. Jerry Jones has created this atmosphere where the players can be in front of the media saying whatever the hell they want to say, even if it's to the detriment of another player or the head coach. It's a damn shame, Cowboys Nation. But jumping into the third clip that I got for you, Jeff Saturday talks about his experience with the Indianapolis Colts and how their ownership operates. Y'all let me know if this is the complete opposite to the Star. So let's go ahead and get into that so we can unpack this raw and uncut. So, Cowboys Nation, let's take a listen to what Jeff Saturday had to say.
That was the first place that reporters stopped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let me say this. If that's fact, because you've done it for forever.
I was there Sunday.
That's Neek's point is over the top truth. Because if the first stop is to the owner and not to the head coach, you're going to have organizational issues. I'm just telling you right now, like, I can remember Bill Polian every year and Jim Irsay, they would speak to the Indianapolis Colts one time a year.
Yes.
And they would look and defer to whoever the heck, whether it was Jim Mora, Tony Dungy, Jim Caldwell, and literally say, we have one voice in this building, get it from there. And you did not circumvent that. You go to the owner after the game.
Every game.
The dude's sitting in the press box.
And he does a radio show on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's
also
unbelievable.
This is our issue, Cowboys Nation. While some will put everything on the quarterback, it remains the Dallas Cowboys issue. And that issue, the owner / GM / head coach / talent scout / water boy, Jerry Jones. Let's not get it twisted. When I say Jerry Jones, I also mean his son, Stephen Jones, as well. It's the atmosphere and the environment that they have created that allows their players to act before thinking. Let me not get ahead of myself, y'all. Y'all ready for my raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. It's all coming together, Cowboys Nation. It's all starting to make sense. When the mainstream media is covering it, you know it's an issue because they're going to exploit it. And that is what they did with what Micah Parsons had to say. The issue that I had with what Micah Parsons did was he said what he said and he left it up to interpretation on some y'all take it however y'all want to take it type stuff, knowing that the media was going to take it and run with it, as they did. He's a part of the media. He should know about the baiting questions and ways to answer them. I had no problem with what he said about Zach Martin. Hell, I agree with him when it comes to that. But he continued to throw Mike McCarthy under the bus, and that's something that a player should never do. See, the thing is, Cowboys Nation, Micah Parsons' statements were neither here nor there in the grand scheme of things. It's the fact that the players can act the way they want to act and there'd be no repercussions for their actions. The only time that I've heard of a player being reprimanded was Zeke causing him to miss the Falcons game. There is no healthy fear in this organization anymore. That left with Barry Switzer in the 90s. And what do I mean by a healthy fear? It's when you respect something or someone, you fear of doing wrong out of worrying about disappointing them, out of worrying that you might let them down, out of worrying you might lose your job. I know I love my mother and my grandmother to death, but as a child, I feared doing wrong around them out of fear of getting my ass whipped. I still got that respect for them to this day, Cowboys Nation. Where is that fear of being suspended? Where is that fear of being fined for your actions? Where is that fear of saying something wrong and choosing your words wisely? Where is having respect for the locker room and keeping the issues in said locker room? I feel the boundaries are blurred because the owner embraces chaos and he profits from said chaos. It feeds his ego and it makes him feel important, like the smartest man in the room, like the most needed man in the room. Then the crew of Get Up made fun of the podcasting aspect in today's NFL. I haven't been the one to complain about the players having a podcast. I believe podcasting is a way to branch out and expand your brand. I feel that it's a great way to communicate with the fans and involve them. I believe that Micah Parsons, what he has built, is incredible. I also feel it shouldn't be the focal point when it's mentioning a player's name. I feel that podcasting should be secondary compared to the level of play from that player on the field. If you're out there balling out and you're being a dog, do your podcast. If you're underperforming, maybe you should dial it back a little. Some fans would say stop being so buddy-buddy with the opposition, but we're living in a time where it's not war anymore, Cowboys Nation. It's only football. But to the crew of Get Up, don't say podcasters like it's not a movement or something, like we don't have a voice, because we certainly do. I feel the reason why they said that is to diminish the platform or to demonize the genre. Nah, guys. Podcasting is here to stay, and you're going to have a lot more athletes joining the content creation space in the future. Who knows? It might be the thing that just phases y'all out. But hey, here's the hoping, right? But as a Cowboys fan, I'm starting to believe that the tapping on the glass story, hey, that's an allegory to the culture issues that Jerry Jones and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys brass cultivate. His complete involvement with this team continues to blur the lines of the Dallas Cowboys hierarchy. It continues to diminish the importance of the head coach. And when your owner doesn't respect the head coach, why should the players? I just don't understand why an owner would want to be in the limelight the way Jerry Jones does. He's the first person that talks to the media before and after the game. He's the one giving updates on the players' health and if they'll be able to play or not the following week. He goes to 105.3 The Fan every single week. He gives pep talks to the team in the locker room, sometimes even before the coaches get to have them. He tells the people who will be starting and who will be backing the starters up. What does that do for the head coach himself? It minimizes the role on the team. It's literally as if Mike McCarthy is the offensive coordinator and Jerry Jones is the head coach, and is starting to show with the players. This is our culture problem in Dallas, Cowboys Nation. It's the owner of the organization. Have you ever known someone to do more harm than good, but they don't realize it? If you're my age or older, you'll remember a movie called Police Academy. I want to talk about specifically Police Academy 3, Back in Training, and Police Academy 6, City Under Siege. There was an officer in those films called Cadet Douglas Fackler. Everywhere he went, bad things would happen around him. He would be safe, he would be fine, but everything around him would suffer. That's Jerry Jones. That's Jerry Jones to the Dallas Cowboys football team. As his brand continues to stack up and it continues to grow, everything that is the Dallas Cowboys continues to descend into chaos, causing him to smile because he's worth more than $10 billion, Cowboys Nation. So until the organization does a deep cultural cleansing, things will stay the way it's been for nearly 3 decades. The Dallas Cowboys will just be good enough to make it to the playoffs and then get booted in the earlier rounds. The players will lack discipline, and top-tier talent will be wasted here in Cowboys Nation. This organization needs to give the power back to the coaches and allow them to do their damn job without constant oversight. They need to be in charge of the players. They need to be in charge of the narratives coming out of the locker rooms. They need to have a say as to who plays and who doesn't. They need to be given the reins back. Until that happens, you won't see a Bill Belichick, a Deion Sanders, nor a living John Madden succeed in this type of environment. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What did you think about what the guys on Get Up had to say? How could anyone blame someone other than the front office for the Dallas Cowboys inefficiencies? Y'all know what we doing. Let's go ahead and have a conversation about it in the comment section. If you're digging the content and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video and share it with whomever you know is a Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and want to see Jerry Jones relinquish power back to the head coaches, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or Madden 25 and College Football 25 gameplay. Cowboys Nation, Micah is gonna Micah. He's going to do his podcast, and he's going to have guests on there from the Eagles or the Packers or the Niners, and he's going to make top 10 lists without including or excluding his teammates. He's going to do this because this is the time that we're living in, where football is not the priority on or around game day. A time where the phrase, I eat, sleep, and breathe football is endangered. Some still live by this. Others fit it into their busy schedule. Where Jerry Jones allows the distractions, Cowboys Nation continues to hope to return to some semblance of the glory days. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.